4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Rajin here, on Starcraft commentary. This is going to be the first set in the first match of the Nate MSL round of 16. Group A, BeSt up against Canata, playing on Ultimatum. We're going to have BeSt as the red Protoss in the lower left-hand position. That means we're going to have Canata as the yellow Terran. Or is that orange? Maybe orange Terran in the upper right-hand position. Yeah, orange Terran in the upper right-hand position. This is, of course, Ultimatum, 4-player map. The first match in the round of 16. Split up a little bit, which means basically you get the first set of all matchups 1 week, and the next week you get the second and the possible third matchups of each match. Sorry. So this is going to be the first set here in the Group A. At this point, really, you don't really need to put them into groups anymore, but this is affectionately called Group A, BeSt against Canata, and this is damn exciting. One of the more exciting matchups, I feel. Definitely got to put the advantage right off the bat to BeSt. This is, of course, a teammate matchup. BeSt and Canata are teammates, but I got to give BeSt the advantage in that he is an absolutely insane PvT player, one of the best in the world. Rivaled only, I believe, by Stork and Jangbi, the Samsung Khan PvT beasts. Canata, meanwhile, does not have that great a TVP. His TVTs, of course, always has been absolutely wonderful. His TVZ lately has kind of picked up, especially in the last MSL. I really saw his TVZ pick up. He played some very good, played very well overall. But his TVP has always been a little bit in question. But of course, he is going to have some advantages on this map. There are, especially because BeSt is going to be eventually wanting to take a Syscog position. It's very easy to shell, just plant, but kind of like what Canata did against Stork. He would just be able to plant right off this base. At this natural expansion, he would be able to plant forces a little bit to the right of that position and just siege that natural expansion for a long time until BeSt has an answer. We're going to see what BeSt decides to go for here. He's going to go for a very, very quick expansion, 12 Nexus, 4-player map, so he's feeling fairly safe. On the opposite side, Canata is actually going to wall off and then most likely put down an expansion after factory. So he's going to be a little bit, unless he manages to do some sort of economic damage early on, he's going to be a little bit economically behind. So he's definitely going to be, most likely going to be forced to go for a push, try to break BeSt's position, try to do some damage early. BeSt is going to take a little bit to scout, which is just sending his probe. Might get it through before the supply depot comes down. The SCV is going to come in to meet it. Might try to delay just a little bit. Actually, no, just going to run right past it, run to the upper left-hand position, then the lower left-hand. Actually, not going to block off, just going to build that command center. Going to allow one single Marine. Nice. Just using one single Marine to force that probe away. Marine coming out just at the right time, not putting down a second supply depot there. But Canata's not really going to have any forces to do any sort of damage for now. Probably just waiting outside of Canata's base and refinery on the way. So most likely we are going to see... I thought we were going to see a factory to expand, but actually we're going to see a very quick expansion from him. And he's going to put down a command center before he puts down his factories. He's kind of almost Zerg-like, one racks into expansion, but apparently felt himself very safe to do this. Putting down a bunker, I believe, instead of the racks at that natural expansion. He's just going to put down a bunker right next to that racks, putting some Marines in there, and feel fairly safe. Should have. Of course, this means he didn't get his early gas production he was earlier. Now getting the scout inside. Again, it's going to spot that early expansion. But that means he's not going to be cutting any sort of gas production anytime soon. 2 gateways alongside his cybernetic core for BeSt. He's going to have some Dragoons down early, so he's going to be able to defend. And, of course, no push is going to be coming from Canata because he did decide to go for a very economic build himself. So he's actually not very far behind economically. He did get his expansion up only just a little while after BeSt, but overall he's not going to be behind economically. He's getting his factory up. He is going to catch up in tech as well. Getting the full scout, that's an advantage he's definitely going to take. While BeSt did not manage to get any sort of scout inside. I don't even know if BeSt knows what's coming at him. That's why he's being forced to put down those 2 gateways alongside the core just to get early Dragoon production, just to be ready for any sort of early 2-fact push, which is actually not coming. One's all going to take one more hit on that SCV. But one single factory been built so far, and I'm thinking Canata's just going to put this into a long macro game, just going to slowly, going to push out a little bit with his Marines, just force that probe back, just to make sure that probe doesn't try a possible sneak later on. SCV coming in a little bit up, putting on the starport, very north side at his base, hiding it away a little bit. And adding in a machine shop on his own base, so he might be going for drop check, try to do some sort of some sort of harassment on his side, getting his second gas up as well, so this might even be teching. Probably will be putting down more fractures very soon. BeSt on the opposite side, adding his own second gas and moving out with a couple of Dragoons at the natch towards that natural expansion. Is getting his goon range up alongside a robotics facility. So early on, this has the makings, unless somebody makes a horrible mistake like Canata. I'm not seeing how this wall could break. He has that racks, has a bunker. BeSt has to wait for range, and I think a tank. If he's researching siege, he's going to be able to plant a tank with siege on that ridge, and that's going to force those Dragoons away. There's no chance for BeSt to push in and do any sort of early damage. But he is getting the robotics facility up. Most likely getting that observatory first because he still doesn't have a tank inside. There is a tank. Still doesn't have an observer inside. No scout inside. So tank, meanwhile, is waiting on that ridge. Ruins are going to back off. Siege mode, as soon as that's ready for that tank, he's just going to plant itself, and any sort of attacks, any sort of pressure is going to be pushed back. And only 3 Marines were being produced by Canata, so he's very low on troops at the moment. Siege mode should be ready because I saw that. Pardon me, I saw that machine shop stop spinning. Not quite sure if the siege mode or not. On the episode, we're going to see that Starport most likely going to produce a dropship right now. 2 tanks now ready, with siege mode. They're just going to plant themselves out of this ridge, so any sort of no push is going to be coming. Oh! They're going to start attacking. I thought there was something that actually managed to sneak by. Scared me a little bit. You scared me, you bastards. Actually going to kill the side disruptor to give themselves some more space to maneuver himself alongside the second factory. And I saw him putting down a second command center. A third command center, I'm sorry. So he's going to think of expanding towards that mineral only. Just put himself in position. He's going to actually put 2 tanks on the dropship. The opposite side, BeSt is going to do what he's very well known for these days, going for 2 base arbiters. He's going for very early arbiter. Going to hide that Stargate at the lower left hand. No scans yet ready, or imminent from what I saw quite yet from a Canata, but he's just going to plant that dropship on that ridge. There is a shuttle ready for BeSt, though, so he's going to be ready for it. He's going to be able to count this once it happens. The dropship is going to come in there, is going to get spotted. He's going to try to plant himself on that ridge. Meanwhile, it was trying to go for Probe, was trying to take one of those islands. But now there's going to be shuttle on dropship action. We're going to see who micros what. Those, of course, Dragoons can attack that dropship, so at very least, very lucky for BeSt. He was trying to go for that island expansion. He's going to be able to at least prevent the expansion on his second Stargate going down, meanwhile. So he's going to go for very early second Stargate, not even Arbiter Tribunal yet. Definitely wants to keep on bases, take up a 3rd gas base, because you really want to try to get 2 bases ahead. And when I say 2 bases, I mean 2 gas bases. You really want to try to get two gas bases ahead of one gas base ahead of a Terran to at least keep in economy. If you manage to keep 2 bases ahead of him, you're in a pretty good position, but you want to try to get 2 bases ahead just in case. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, Canata's actually, never mind, I thought he was going to go for mineral only. He's actually going to go for the island at the 3 o'clock himself. Meanwhile, at the very least, delaying BeSt fleet beacon. Oh, totally read this. Should have read this with the Stargate. Going for the fleet beacon. Should have seen the second Stargate and should have instantly clicked in my head that it was actually going to go for carriers. 2 base carriers. That's why he really needs that 3rd base soon. The 3rd gas needs it up. Going to go very early carriers. Stork didn't quite manage to work very well with this against Canata, but BeSt feels he can. Has observers out there. Really needs to go get a scout. Probably already has an observer inside of Canata's base, at least on the way on the inside. Using his shuttle now to transfer 2 Dragoons towards that 6 o'clock island. And Canata, meanwhile, adding in turrets, I believe. Already has Z-Bay up. Should be adding turrets alongside 3rd and 4th factory. They rhyme, man. They rhyme. Has an armory alongside as well. And just, adding those missile turrets just in case the drops, because he saw the shuttle, so the drops could be coming on the way. And there is an observer, meanwhile, inside. He managed to sneak past before the turrets came up. So at least he's going to get the full-on scout and all the tech and everything. There are 2 dropships on the way to try to prevent this new base from coming up, and there's only 1 single shuttle. I'm not quite sure if there's anything else new inside aside from those 2 Dragoons. There is a drop is going to come in down. There is going to take a few shots. Tanks are going to come down. One of the dropship might go down. There's a Reaver in that one single shuttle, but beautiful micromanagement in there by the dropships. Reaver still trying to get 1 single scarab off. Not actually take off. Does lose this. Losing the Reaver. BeSt is critical. He is not going to be able to take his base. He did not. He's not going to be able. This base should be able to prevent. Those Dragoons are finally melted, and this next is going to most likely going to be forced to cancel. There's another shuttle coming in, and actually Canata not pushing this. He's going to force back. He lost some troops, was heavily damaged. Oh man, look at that critical scan, scanning the fleet beacon and the 2 Stargates. So now he does have an armory up. He's going to be getting a bunch of Goliaths soon. Should be actually adding in more factories Alongside has some Goliaths out in the field already. Charon boosters should be up soon. Second armory on the way as well. More dropships, going for very heavy dropship play. I kind of like this from him. Going for maneuverability on this large map. Of course, large space in between, so I kind of really like him going for this maneuverability option. Best meanwhile, putting some Dragoons close to that position just so we can catch him up. And science facility finally up, so we can get those sciences